Coach Ingle, thanks for joining us. First off, are you excited for the season? I know we've had some of the players in, they're really excited. How excited are you for the season?
Well, I'm excited too. Probably not as much as the players because they're the ones doing all the running and they can't wait to get out there and get a basketball. But we are excited as a coaching staff, players, everyone. It's basketball season is quickly approaching.
You've been around basketball for a very long time. Talk about just being part of this university and seeing it grow.
Well, Kennesaw State University gave me an opportunity. And May the 1st, 2000, my first day of work here at Kennesaw State University. And came here with a dream to win a national championship. And a lot of reasons behind that. But first and foremost is I remember Kennesaw State as a junior college years ago in the late 60s. And then one of my former players at Cherokee High School, when I was a coach there, was the first basketball player at Kennesaw State University to sign a scholarship. And his name's Scott Webb. Now, Scott does color for our, broadcast, radio broadcasting and games and things. But when I came, I saw a lot of growth in Kennesaw State. Many buildings have been built, and then President Betty Siegel, and of course, President Dan Papp done a masterful job in making this campus what I feel like is the most beautiful campus in the state of Georgia. I really mean that. I think we have a beautiful campus. And a lot of people think, well, that's, because of the buildings. Yes, that is part of it, but I think we have great people here. We have wonderful people here, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Reading your book, which I've done several times, and most of my family has done it as well, you talk about from a young age, from the time you were in high school to junior college, when you finally realized after your injuries that you wanted to coach and you wanted to win a national title because you didn't get quite there playing basketball yourself. And when you left BYU, when all that happened, you had said, when you want to win a championship, you call me. Because you knew in your mind you were going to win a national championship. You've known that for 40-plus years. Did you see the success? You obviously foresaw having success wherever you were going to be, but did you see it happening as quickly as it did at Kennesaw?
Well, what you're referring to is when I took an interim head coaching job at Brigham Young University, I coached a team that basically no one wanted to coach, Jeff, and I didn't turn my back on the players. I didn't turn my back on the university. I'm just not a turn my back kind of guy. And then after the season, we went 0-19 with 9 freshmen. I had to get 3 players off the football team. We had 3 players that played in the Cotton Bowl, and BYU had beat Kansas State in the Cotton Bowl. And I recruited 3 of those guys off the football team to come help us on the basketball team. We had 5 injuries, serious injuries to players, but we had 9 freshmen, and 9 freshmen playing in a WAC was just ridiculous. But I took that job, and then on March the 10th, 7:05, they told me your services are no more needed. So as we was walking out of the Merit Center, I just couldn't walk to my car. I just couldn't walk. With the president and vice president was behind me, and I just turned around and said, "Hey, if you ever want to win it all, give me a call." And meaning you might take my job, but you won't take my dream. And you might knock me down, but you're not going to knock me out. And just whatever it is, I've got that kind of intestinal fortitude that I'm going to keep pursuing it. But yes, to answer your question is, yes, I knew there's a national championship, and I've always said this, and there's not just one. I've always said that. But my point being is it was a very, very difficult time, but after 3 years and other things that I did, color commentating Mountain West Conference games with KSL TV. I did, I was a founder and executive director of the John Nellie Wooden Awards, and Coach Wooden's a dear friend, and was more than happy to lend me his name, and which I still have to this day. I can start a John and Nellie Wooden Awards, and I've got a paper saying even after I have passed, my son Jim or my daughter Nan cannot prevent Tony Ingle from having a John Nellie Wooden Awards. I just, not doing it and hadn't found the right leadership right now with that because my demands are in coaching. But I did come to Kennesaw after all those things, those 3 hard years. But I did bring my dream. I brought my dream. My dream was to win a national championship at Kennesaw. And to be honest with you, I thought we would do it the 4th year. I'm sorry. I've got to just be honest with you. My daddy said if you're always honest, you don't have to remember anything. But I really thought we'd win, and we did. And it worked out perfectly. But I visioned it. I'd worked it. I kept that dream for so many years. I got hurt in the National Junior College Tournament in Hudson, Kansas, 1973. And then we won the National Championship in 2004. So all those years, I kept that dream and kept that vision of winning that national championship. And I don't know how many years that is. Somebody had to calculate that.
31.
31 years. But 31 years I carried that dream. But I was not going to go to my grave with my dream in my casket. Too many people they give up on the dreams, and I'm not going to do that. I don't think that's why it's built. Ships are built, to go in the ocean. A lot of you might have heard this quote: "Ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not why they're built." And I wasn't built to lay around and not go after my goals, and my dreams. There's goals are a different story. Goals are just stepping stones to dreams.
We just recently, in the last few years, have completed the transition from Division II to Division I. Did you foresee the success, like how quickly the success came to the school in basketball, and
Yeah, I really did, Carter. I really did. I really saw it. I envisioned it. I worked for it. I planned it. I worked it out, and the Lord gave us some help. I'm never going to say that He didn't. And then we had administrative help. They gave us good enough money to recruit with. They gave us enough scholarships, and they gave us the resources. See, you're only going to be as good as your leaders, your resources, your talent, and God will allow you to be. I throw in God because I believe He's the X factor, and I'm not trying to push any religion or anything like that, but I do believe in a higher power, and I do believe the power of God. Now you say, well, what if everybody else is praying to Him? Well, they can. They can, and we did too. We just happened to come out that time. But if you think, a lot of people try to give me, like when I went 0-19, couldn't win a game, what was I, jerk of the year? I mean, what are they supposed to do? Okay, but then 2004, I won 2 National Coach of the Year awards. And I'm not saying that to impress anybody. I'm just saying I'm the same person. All I can do is give my very best to achieve the best. That's all I can do. But, yes, I did expect it.
With the transition to Division I, and after winning the national championship, what is the biggest difference you've seen, whether it be talent-wise or just in general?
The big difference of finances. I mean, I don't know, the big difference, like someone, you could pull up a website, go to basketball state website and everything, and finances are a big part, and it's no one's fault. It's just that there's a lot of pressure on Dr. Waples to perform in the athletic department. He had a lot of things he had to do. He had more people that had to hire, more assistant coaches had to be hired, more academic things had to be done, in regards to the university, the standards of meeting NCAA. They had to add new sports. So consequently, with all of that going on, we weren't as highly as funded as most people go in Division I. I'm talking about men's basketball. Mm-hmm. It was told to me that men's basketball was $500,000 under budget for every year that we've been in Division I. But that's teams that don't have football. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now if you subscribe to the fact that you're only good as your leaders, your resources, your talent, and God will allow you to be, that's a big factor. So big time basketball. Let's just call it like it is, guys. I mean, here's the thing: There's Division I coaches in this country. A few years ago, Tom Izzo was making $7 million a year. Now, they will not publish what Mike Krzyzewski makes. They're a private institution. But there's basketball coaches that make more or as much in 1 year as equivalent to our whole athletic budget. So money is a big factor. Media, public relations is a major factor. Get the right players in here. See, everyone's going after the best fruit. They're going after the best horses. They're going after the best players. Whatever's important to them is what I'm trying to communicate. So in some places, the best fruit's already been picked over. Time to get to it. Sometimes the best horses have been picked over. Sometimes the best players have already been picked over. Well, that's where we have been in a lot of situations. And then when you tie it all in together, it's been a very tough thing, for men's basketball. And people say, well, why ain't it that way with everyone else? I don't know. All I know is what men's basketball does. And we've worked hard. Coaching staff worked hard. Support groups worked hard. We've had some good success, and I feel good of where we are with everything concerned and the foundation that we have established.
Going off of that answer, what has been the biggest difference? And even when you were a Division II program and were successful, you still had guys that very easily could have played Division I, but fell through the cracks for whatever reason may have been. What has been the biggest difference of talent between being a Division II powerhouse and then being a Division I, going through all of the grace period and all that?
Well, what happens at the talent level is they're going to get the best players. I mean, we're playing Georgia Tech this year, and they're in the ACC. And from top to bottom, they can recruit,
right,
the better players night in, night out. What we've got to do, we've got to find the guys that are the sleepers. We've got to mold people, make them come together. We've got to do everything that they're doing, but at the same time, what do we have? I mean, one thing we had, for 5 years there, we had a Tony Ingle show that was in 12 states and 7 million homes. Mm-hmm. That brought us a lot of notoriety. There's not a coaching show in the country that has high ratings, mm-hmm. but what it did, it brought us great visibility. It created an awareness. We was able to have Marty Blake, who's director of scouting and NBA, on our show. We had guys as over officials on our show. We had people on campus, with various capacities on the show. But what I'm saying is, players want to be on television. Players want notoriety. I'm not cutting radio. I mean, I love radio. Radio serves its purpose. But kids want to be seen. They want to be out there. So what I want to do, and I've got a plan to put this thing in place to have where we can have more games on TV. We just need to keep working our way through this, get things in place, because we're right here in Atlanta, and there's enough cameras and TV people that and airtime around here. But what if it's a tape delay? I could care less. Mm-hmm. But right now, getting those, you're not going to get the great players unless you have a great TV package in basketball. In basketball, that's what we're talking about.
Well, if we can help anyway, just let us know. We volunteer our services.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.